So this book is one that I love, and I actually read it when I was little. It's called Jane and the Dragon by Baynton. I think this is actually a series, but I might be wrong. It's from Discovery Toys. I had a family member who worked with Discovery Toys, so she was able to get a lot of things from them. Jane and the Dragon. Jane wants to be a knight, but everyone laughs at her, saying that girls can't be knights. The court jester is the only person who takes Jane seriously. He lends her a small suit of armor. That's the things that help protect you, which turns out to be just what she needs. So Discovery Toys is who's the publisher. This is an older book. I'm not sure if there's a current version of it, but I just love this dragon. He's looking like he's having so much fun flying and spinning in the air. So for Kate and Fred, Martin Baynton. It's from 1988. Printed in Italy from Discovery Toys. Jane and the Dragon. Listen, I just love the little dragon. Jane hated sewing. Every morning she sat with her mother, practicing her stitches, and every morning she gazed down at the knights practicing their swordplay in the courtyard below. So here she is. She looks like she's doing needlework, where she's making little roses, sitting on a cushion, staring down. Here she is looking at them. And look, they are not being very serious. He is treating his sword like a golf club with a little golf ball. And he is cutting off his own little poof on top of his helmet. Not safe. And this one's just playing ball. And while the other people are also looking on, maybe because they like them, maybe not, Jane wants to be one of them. Oh, and here's our little jester friend that we saw on the back, or we read about. Jane longed to be a knight. Nothing else would do, and she told her mother so. Her mother laughed. "Such foolishness," she said. "You will be a lady in waiting. Perhaps, like me, you will become a lady in waiting to the queen herself." Jane was very upset, but she was determined to be a knight, and she went to tell her father. Her father laughed. "What nonsense," he said. "Only boys can become knights." Oh my, see, she's showing him how passionate she is about sword fighting. Jane told the king. Oh, she's going straight to the top. Here he is with his little bird. The king laughed. Of course," he said. But he hadn't really heard her, for the king listened to no one but himself. Oh my, that might be accurate. Jane told the prince, the king's only son. The prince said nothing. He just laughed and pushed her over in the royal sandpit. Oh my goodness, that's rude. Look at that boy. That is very naughty. Do not push people down. Goodness grief. Jane told the knights themselves. They laughed and dressed her in fine armor that was too big for her, and set her on a straw horse. They thought it was great fun until they saw tears trickle out from under the helmet. The knights were sorry. They had not meant to be unkind. So they were laughing and joking, but they didn't realize how much it upset her. And when they did, they felt sorry. So here's before they realized their mistake. But poor Jane, crying. Finally, Jane told the court jester. The jester didn't laugh. Of all the people Jane had spoken to, he alone listened and understood. It's so important to have a friend that'll listen. He took Jane to his room and opened a wooden chest. Inside was a small suit of armor. I wanted to be a knight as well, said the jester, but I was too small. This armor is my secret. I put it on sometimes and dream a little. I want you to have it. Jane was overjoyed. But what about your dream? She asked. I was never really brave enough, he said. You dream it for me. You see, it takes a lot of bravery to say what you want to people, even if they laugh at you or tell you it's silly. So Jane has been very brave indeed to keep persisting in her dream. From that day on, Jane's sewing got worse. She was too busy watching the knights, watching and learning. And whenever the knights were out chasing the king's enemies, Jane would go to their quarters, put on her armor, and practice. Well, look, she's using her sword, and she's letting it swing. She practiced her sword play. She practiced her horse play. Oh, she's on a straw horse with a jousting. I think it's a lance. She even practiced her victory speeches. Well, that's a little bit enthusiastic. All right, why not? Look at the dragon. Oh, he's got a naughty grin right there. Then one terrible day, an enormous green dragon came and stole the prince. The king and queen were horrified. They called for the knights, but the knights were away at a jousting carnival. Is there no one left who can save our son? Cried the king. They were very surprised when a small knight ran into the courtyard, saddled up the prince's pony, and galloped away after the dragon. Oh, he's so far away, he's tiny. You know, he's a great big dragon. I assume it's a boy. I don't know if we've learned yet. Oh my goodness, look how huge the dragon is. Jane followed the dragon in his mountain lair. The dragon to his mountain lair. Release the boy, she demanded in her sternest voice. The dragon laughed. Make me, he roared, and his hot breath singed the plume. Oh yeah, that's what that's called, plume, on Jane's helmet. Oh, right out his little nostrils. Like he's blowing his nose in fire. Oh, even the prince is impressed. Oh, that looks scary. He says, no, thank you. I don't want to get roasted. Jane drew her sword and advanced. A long and dreadful battle followed. Twice Jane could have stabbed the dragon, but she did not. Twice the dragon could have toasted her with his hot breath, but he did not. At last they were too exhausted to fight on, and they sat down together on the floor of the cave. We'll see, here's blowing, here's stabbing, and here's them sitting down. They look peaceful. You could have killed me, said the dragon. You could have killed me, said Jane. Why didn't you? I don't like hurting people, sighed the dragon. Then why did you steal the prince? Because it's expected of me. Then do the unexpected, said Jane. No, I couldn't. I'm not brave enough. Of course you are. It's easy. Easy for you, said the dragon. You're a knight, and people expect you to be brave. Ooh. Surprise. Jane laughed and took off her helmet. The dragon was amazed. You're just a girl. I could fry you for breakfast. Yes, that would be easy for you. It would be easy for me to be a lady in waiting. People expect it. But I want to be a knight. What do you want? I want to be loved, sobbed the dragon, and he covered his face with a spiky brown wing. Oh, he's crying. Jane put down her sword and kissed him. I love you, she said. Oh, thank you, said the dragon, and he sobbed all the louder. Oh, he just wanted someone to love him and care about him too. He was lonely. Poor dragon. Now I have to take the prince home, said Jane. The king and queen will be dreadfully worried. Will you visit me sometimes? Asked the dragon. Every Saturday, Jane promised. But now we really must go. And she gave the dragon a hug and another kiss. It was late in the day when they arrived back at the castle. The entire court rushed out to greet them. The king and queen were overjoyed to see their son, but who was the mysterious knight? Oh, everybody's rushing out to meet them. Jane took off her helmet, and the crowd gasped. Her father just stood there with his mouth wide open. Her mother fainted gracefully. Oh. Dear Jane, said the king, how can we ever thank you? Your Majesty, I would like to become a proper knight, please, with every Saturday off to visit a friend. Certainly, said the king, and he called for the royal scribe, the person who writes stuff down, who wrote the contract out there and then. Oh, it's even a contract. Wow. See, there's the queen with the prince and the king. All right. That evening, the king gave a royal ball. Everyone was there, including Jane's mother and father, who had recovered from their shock and were now very proud of their fearless daughter. Jane was the guest of honor. You must choose a partner, Jane, said the king, and lead the dancing. All the handsome young men waited, each one hoping to be chosen. But Jane took the jester's hand and led him onto the floor. Thank you for the armor, said Jane. Thank you for the dream, said the jester, and together they danced and danced and danced. And look, our dragon's even peeking in on the fun. The end. I loved that it supports being brave enough to be who you are, even if other people expect you to be different than you want to be in your heart. it's important to be who you are, even if other people have expectations for you. So, the wonderful little book. Well, thank you so much for listening. You have a great day.